DeFi Darius, Digital Asset Junkie TV. Thank you guys so much for kicking it with me today. You guys, we are talking about stable coins. All right. Stable coins are going to pump the system. All right. That's going to add an extra layer. I cannot wait for, or you guys, well, I can wait actually, because it's going to give us time to accumulate more digital assets. But first, before we get into it, you guys, go to my X account. Okay. Go to DeFi Darius. Man, please give me a like or something. You don't got to even follow me. Just interact with some of my tweets, man. Okay, come on now. Show me some love, you guys. So, all right, man. So, the stable coin, okay, so the stable coin it still has layers. The Stablecoin Act, I should say, the Genius Act. It still has layers to go through before it's 100% finalized. All right, let's listen to these nerds talk about these stable coins.
Yeah, well, one of the companies launching a stable coin is PayPal. It's going to live on the Stellar blockchain for real-world payments, commerce, and financing. Let's bring in Danelle Dixon, CEO.
You guys hear that? You guys hear that? XLM gang, where you at? Where you at? I'm about to put some XLM hashtags in this. Matter of fact, on the thumbnail, I'm about to throw in XLM. Shout out XLM gang. Matter of fact, let's see where we looking at. Today is June 17th, okay, 2025. All right, so Stellar is right at a quarter right now. All right, 25 cents. All right, I've been dollar cost averaging Stellar for a long time, you guys. All right. Stellar, Loomis, I'm happy to see that, you know. All right, so let's go again. PayPal is working with Stellar.
Blockchain for real-world payments, commerce, and financing. Let's bring in Danelle Dixon, CEO of Stellar Development Foundation. Danelle, always good to chat with you. I want to start with the ease of use question, because I think this is where really the rubber meets the road when it comes to consumer behavior. Consumers want to do what's easy. They want to do what has consumer protections, and that's...
Yep, consumers want it super easy, super seamless, okay? All right, and of course, like he said, they want protection. This guy's smart. The glasses isn't making him smarter. He's smart.
Credit cards, they want to do what they're rewarded for, and they're used to that when it comes to credit cards. Talk to us a little bit about the opportunity, though, that stablecoins present from a consumer perspective.
Well, if you think about now, and thank you for having me, if you think about where we are now in the blockchain crypto space, there's a lot of focus on ease of use for the consumer side. That wasn't the case 4 years ago. It is the case now. The wallets that people have built and businesses have built out there are really simple. So it actually is very easy to be able to leverage a stablecoin, sometimes not even knowing that you're doing that. And importantly, credit card companies are coming in and they're having relationships where you can actually use a credit card and then use your stablecoin through the credit card. So there's no conversion that you have to make. You can just deplete your stablecoin balance using your credit card. So I actually don't agree that there is a challenge with respect to ease of use. There was 3 to 5 years ago. There isn't today.
I just want to jump in. I know Shonali has a bunch of questions, but this sounds more difficult than swiping a card, then paying the bill at the end of the month or paying whatever you can afford to pay. Going and filling up some sort of wallet, then keeping track of how much is in it so it doesn't get depleted too quickly. Like, that sounds more difficult from a consumer perspective. Again, I'm talking consumer.
Come on, man. Like, come on, dude. Like, just like if you use Venmo to pay somebody, instead of accepting money from Venmo, say you want to pay somebody else through Venmo, or, you know, it's the same thing. It's the same thing, nerd. Come on,
we want to do what's easiest as consumers. Convince me that stablecoins are the right way.
Well, I think a lot of people use their Venmo to do exactly what you just talked about. A lot of people are using PayPal to do exactly what you just talked about, and that ease of use in leveraging stablecoins there is kind of the same. So I think what Emily said before in your last segment.
It is the same. Don't be nice. It is the same.
Is that outside the U.S. it's actually going to take off pretty quickly. It already is. In the U.S., it's a little more complicated because our markets, we're just used to what we have to do here because it's very simple. But I don't think the ease of use of it is going to be the challenge and the barrier to entry.
You know, I actually have a question in the exact opposite direction.
So this exchange is interesting. When they, this is so. I have not. You guys, correct me if I'm wrong. Hop in the chats. Let me know if I'm tripping. But I have never seen a conversation about use about blockchain stablecoins at this level, meaning at the basic consumer level. Like, how is it going to be easy for a consumer to run through a blockchain transaction? Whenever people think of a blockchain transaction, they're like, "Oh, Bitcoin. That means I got to buy Bitcoin to make this transaction," and it's just too much for them to consume. But this is a basic conversation about what the future is going to be like in a couple years, or maybe even a year.
And it's, you heard us
You're saying it's too easy, Shonali?
Well, it might be easier for big retailers, as we've been talking about, to maybe bypass the traditional financial system in some ways by going directly to stablecoin. How likely is that? Now, it's really interesting to see you work with a more traditional way payments company. PayPal has been thinking about stablecoins for a long time. But if you are Bank of America or Citigroup, how worried do you have to be that retailers might not want to work as directly with someone like you?
Well, I don't think I think that what we're seeing now is this really nice combination of traditional financial infrastructure and the new technology. Everybody gets very fearful of this, and I think this has been the challenge that we've had for the last 10 years, is really getting people to understand it's just a tech stack. And so banks are actually really excited about leveraging this new technology. And I think if you look at PayPal entered the market with a stablecoin.
Banks are excited that they're with this new technology. You know why? They're going to do their best to you out of your money, okay? That's what they're going to do. They're going to figure out a way that they can say, hey, don't worry about it. Let us worry about it, okay? This is not that hard, you guys.
During a time when there wasn't the Genius Act and stablecoin legislation on the table. And they did it because it was actually very useful for their consumers, but also from a business standpoint, it makes a lot of sense. So I think you're seeing traditional financial infrastructure really move to the value of what this technology has to offer, which is exactly the move that should be made.
I guess what I don't necessarily agree with is that it's just a tech stack. Because if these are, yes, they're assets backed by dollars, but they're held differently than you would hold assets in a bank account. And that's the difference, isn't it? At the end of the day, these look a little bit more like money market accounts. So isn't that creating a different way for people to use money?
Well, so there's the U.S. Treasuries if you think about, like, Franklin Templeton has issued a money market fund on Stellar. They have that, and they have access to that to be able to build your wealth and to get the interest rates that you can get. With respect to stablecoins, it really is just about the velocity of the asset. So I actually think that it is very similar to holding in a bank account outside the U.S., because lots of folks don't have bank accounts that we're used to having. In the U.S., yeah, you're going to want a bank account, but you're also going to leverage stablecoins for ease of use and for the fees.
So she's talking about when you go, let's say if you go out to Mexico, or if you go to Jamaica or France or out of the country, you could just use your stablecoin. You could use your stablecoins to transact. You get what I'm saying? And I'm sure there's going to be dApps or apps that will make it a lot more seamless. So it'll be easier to toggle between your actual, let's say if you have Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Washington Mutual account to this stablecoin account.
Fees to be so much lower. It's super exciting where we are in the market right now, and I just love to see this kind of technology really take off.
That's right. We are at the beginning of this, man. This is big, you guys. All right. Don't play around, man. Don't hold on to your tokens and be patient. All right. All right. XRP Army, what's up? Shout out to XLM Army. All right. Matter of fact, this got me. I might do some research on XLM and do a post about XLM. This is really exciting, you guys. All right. So before we get off, let's look at the price of Bitcoin. We're at 104. All right. Let's look at my baby XRP, $2.16. All right, we're sitting solid. Okay, a lot is going on right now. It's June 17th. Okay, 2025. Israel and Iran, they're at the climax of their conflict. I pray for peace. I hope that they will stop sending those things in the air, and let's get back to getting this money, man. You guys, thank you guys so much for sitting and listening. Please like and subscribe. Digital Asset Junkie TV.